Hello everyone. Today we will learn regarding blood supply of the or supply of the bones as well as applied aspect of the bones. In few last lectures we have seen or we have studied regarding definition of bone, classification of bone according to shape, size, growth structure, etc. As well as we studied regarding bone components, bone cell and bone matrix, bone cell four type: osteoprogenitor, osteoblasts, osteocyte and osteoclast. Okay, matrix, organic and inorganic components. As well as we have studied regarding ossification of bone, that is development of bone, intramembranous, intracartilaginous. Okay, today we will learn regarding supply of bone. Okay, first, blood supply of bone. Long bones. The blood supply of long bone is derived from the following sources. First, nutrient artery. It enters the shaft through the nutrient foramens, runs obliquely through the cortex, and divides into ascending and descending branches in the medullary cavity. Okay. In this diagram, you can see nutrient artery enters through the nutrient foramen and runs ascending as well as descending pattern. In this diagram, again you see epiphyseal and metaphyseal vessels. Okay, and periosteal vessels. We have seen the parts of the long bone: diaphysis, epiphysis, metaphysis. Okay. Each branch divides into number of small parallel channels which terminate into adult metaphyses by anastomosing with the epiphyseal and metaphyseal term as periosteal arteries that we have seen here. Okay, where epiphysis metaphyses mix or get together, term as periosteal arteries. A nutrient artery supplies by medullary cavity inner two-thirds of the cortex and metaphysis. This is the area which is supplied by the nutrient artery. The growing ends of bones in the upper limbs are upper end of humerus and lower end of radius and ulna. In lower limb, the lower end of the femur and upper end of the tibia are the growing ends. Okay. In this diagram you can see growing ends of humerus, upper end of the humerus, as well as growing end of the radius ulna, lower end. In femur, growing end is lower end condyles of the femur, as well as in tibia fibula, upper end is growing end. Periosteal arteries. These are especially numerous beneath the muscular and ligamentous attachment. They ramify beneath the periosteum and enter the Walkman's canals to supply the outer one-third of the cortex. Epiphyseal arteries. These are derived from periarticular vascular arcades found on the non-articular bony surface. Out of the numerous vascular foramina in this region, only few admit the arteries epiphyseal and metaphyseal, and the rest are venous exist. Metaphyseal artery. These are derived from the neighboring systemic vessels. They pass directly into metaphysis and reinforce the metaphyseal branches from the primary nutrient artery. Other bones. Okay. Supply of the other bones. Short bones are supplied by numerous periosteal vessels which enter their non-articular surface. In vertebra, the body is supplied by anterior and posterior vessels, and the vertebral arch by large vessels entering the basis of the transverse process. Okay, large vessels or vertebral arch supplied by aorta, segmental artery, spinal artery, artery of Edmund-Quiz, according to name given according to scientists: anterior spinal artery, posterior segmental artery. Okay. Its marrow is drained by two large basivertebral veins. A A rib is supplied by the nutrient artery, which enters it just beyond the tubercle and the periosteal arteries. Okay. Blood supply of ribs. Okay. Anterior intercostal artery and vein, internal thoracic artery. Okay. Now we will see regarding nerve supply of bones. Nerve accompany the blood vessels. Most of them are sympathetic and vasomotor in function. A few of them are sensory, which are distributed to the articular ends and periosteum of the long bones to the vertebrae and large flat bones. Now we will see regarding function of the bones. Bone gives shape and support to the body and resist any forms of stress. Okay. This provides surface for the attachment of muscles, tendon and ligament. Okay, that we have seen. All these are attached to the bone. These serve as a levers for muscular action. Okay. The skull, vertebral column and thoracic cage protect the brain, spinal cord, thoracic viscera respectively. Okay. Bone marrow manufactures blood cells. Bones store 97% of the body calcium and phosphorus. Bone marrow contains reticuloendothelial cells, which are phagocytic in nature and take part in the immune responses of the body. The larger paranasal air sinuses affect the timbre of the voice. Okay, that we have seen in the pneumatic bones. Okay, which are filled with air. Function is reduction of weight as well as make the timbre of the voice. Okay. Now we will see last portion of the osteology, that is clinical anatomy. A defect in membranous ossification causes a rare syndrome called cleidocranial diastosis. Okay, that we have seen in applied anatomy of clavicle. It is characterized by three cardinal features: varying degree of aplasia of the clavicles. Okay, aplasia means defect in development of organ or bone. Increase in the transverse diameter of the cranium. Last one, retardation in the frontanelle ossification. It may be hereditary or environmental in origin. In this diagram you can see cleidocranial diastosis. Okay, absence or not proper development of clavicle. Defect in endochondral ossification causes common type of dwarfism called achondroplasia, in which limbs are short but the trunk is normal. It is transmitted as a Mendelian dominant factor. Okay, this is regarding genetic disease. Okay, Turner, Klinefelter syndrome, etc. Okay, you can see short hands, legs. Okay, blood supply of the bone is so rich that it is very difficult to interrupt it sufficiently to kill the bone. Okay, blood supply of the bone is so rich that it is very difficult to interrupt it sufficiently kill the bone. Passing a metal pin into the medullary cavity hardly interferes with the blood supply of the bone. Now fracture is the what is fracture? Fracture is the break in the continuity of bone. The fracture which is not connected with the skin wound is known as simple or close. The fracture line may be oblique, horizontal, The fracture which communicates with the skin wound is known as compound or open fracture. A fracture requires reduction by which alignment of broken ends is restored. Healing of the fracture takes place in the three stages: repair by granulation tissue, second, union by callus, third, consolidation by mature bone. Okay, in this diagram you can see types of fracture. First, close and oblique. Okay, according to shape name A is given, close and horizontal or transverse, and third one close open. Okay, it can be oblique and open. Axis of second cervical vertebra may get fracture if the ends of axis gets separated from the body. Okay, listen it. If the ends of axis get separated from the body, it hits the vital centers in the medulla oblongata, causing instant death. Okay, even fracture of laminae may cause death. Okay, in this diagram you can see hanging till death occurs due to fracture of ends of the axis vertebra as well as lamellae. Okay, it hits on the vital centers of medulla oblongata and causes sudden or immediate death. In rickets, deficiency of vitamin D, calcification of cartilage fails, and ossification of the growth zone is disturbed. Rickets affects the growing bones, and therefore the disease develops during the period of most rapid growth of the skeleton, that is from 3 months to 3 years. Osteoid tissue is performed normally and the cartilage cells proliferate freely, but the mineralization does not take place. Okay, that we have seen in mineralization etc. in ossification of bone. This results in craniotabes, racket, rosary at the costochondral junction, Harrison's sulcus at the diaphragmatic attachments, and large epiphyses in limbs, bones, in limb bones, and the spinal and pelvic deformities. Okay, this is the diagram of the normal bones as well as rickets, bending. For proper development of bone, a child requires adequate amounts of proteins, calcium, vitamin D, etc. Deficiency of calcium and vitamin D growing children leads to widening ends of the bones with inadequate ossification. This condition is called as rickets, that we have seen in the diagram. Hematoma in the muscles and bones subperiosteal cause severe pain and tenderness. Okay, the normal architecture at the growing ends of the bone is lost. Many skeletal defects are caused by genetic factors or by combination of genetic, hormonal, nutritional, and pathological factor. The vertebral arch or laminae of vertebral column may remain deficient. The spinal cord may covered by skin, that is spina bifida occulta. There may be a protrusion of the meninges surrounding the spinal cord placed in the vertebral canal. First diagram you can see spina bifida, protrusion of the meninges in the vertebral canal. Second, meningocele. There may be a protrusion of the spinal cord as well as meningocele, protrusion of spinal cord as well as meninges. Third one is meningocoel. myocele. Okay. If deficiency of calcium, vitamin D occurs in adult life, it leads to osteomalacia, that we have seen, softening of the bone. The bones on X-ray examination do not reveal enough trabeculae. Deficiency of calcium in bone in old age leads to osteoporosis, seen both in females and males. Due to osteoporosis, there is forward bending of the vertebral column leading to kyphosis. Okay. Normal spine and kyphosis, forward bending of the vertebral spine. Nerves are closely related to bones in the same areas. Nerves are closely related to bones in some areas. Fracture of the bones, those areas may lead to injury to the nerve, leading to paralysis of muscles supplied, including the sensory loss. Okay. In short, wherever it get injured, an area or supplying nerve may involve in the fracture, that area will be paralysis. Okay. Bone marrow biopsy. Bone marrow can be taken either from the manubrium sternum or iliac crest in the various clinical condition. Okay. Bone marrow aspiration for an adult. You can see in this diagram. Bone tumor. Benign or malignant tumors can occur in the bone. In this diagram you can see osteosarcoma. Okay. Thank you everyone.